Get started. I'll give you guys a moment to make your selection. We're doing something a little bit different today. We have the flames. All right, so take a moment. I usually encourage you to pause the video, but it may be kind of hard to look at the flames and make a selection on pause. So I'll give extra time during the intro for you to make a selection. This is 1, 2, and 3. The timestamps should be in the description box, and I say should be because sometimes they're pinned in the chat, but I'm going to try to remember to put it in the description. Set the intentions for the information that you need, because those are the intentions I set when the cards were shuffled out. And I'll give you guys a moment. Okay, spirits say let's go. And we will start with group 1. Group 1. Super cute. You have the number 31, which is a 4. The snow lake transformation. Okay, because the lake usually is a body of water, snow is frozen, so something's melting. When I think of melting ice, bears, it could talk about an awakening coming out of hibernation, where, you know, in the winter, that cold energy connected to the 5 of Pentacles. It could have been your relationship, love life. It could be your actual finances. Sometimes when we're going through those dark nights, in connection to our soul purpose or just family issues, whatever. It could just be life. Like when you sit down and say, Earth is ghetto. Coming out of the cold, or the transformation there may be significant. I'll say that. With my head held high, I reflect on the past and gaze towards the future. And I love that because look, the sun is shining on that little cheek, cheeky, cheek, cheek, cheek. He's cute. I am so silly because I feel like, oh, I want one. Just imagine a person with wildlife animals as pets. Like, just silly. Now, the tarot cards that were shuffled out for you are in alignment with abundance. And then you also have this gaze into the future. The moon can sometimes represent a mystery. It also represents the unknown. For some of you, this could start or has started during Cancer season. And it could be relevant to a wife, a mother, someone, a lady, possibly that you love and respect. And for some of you, because of this card and her craftsmanship, it could even be a project. Take a moment and look at the cards and see what any interpretations that you may get from the photo. And then we'll go over the tarot interpretations as well. Now, the Empress and the Moon together encourages us to trust our instincts and trust the process of transformation, because the Empress provides a safe and supportive environment for growth. I absolutely love that. The other thing that I like about it is there's this dominant energy, because I don't say feminine and masculine anymore. I learned that divine is neutral. The sun is divine and so is the moon. So they're both neutral. Humans decided to start calling them masculine and feminine, and I promote information sharing and intelligence. So the divine, and respect to the collective that's been saying divine masculine and divine feminine, which talks about maybe how it ebbs and flows and how it works. So respect to you guys, okay? But you have this dominant energy that is like the sun on the cheek. And notice that the background or the sky is dim on the Empress photo as well, but there's hints of light, and of course it's not nighttime. Now in this particular card, it looks like it may have been dark and the sun is coming out. where the sun actually looks like the moon. And I think that that's super cool, like the eclipse or something like that. The eclipse is sometimes symbolic to every blue moon. So every once in a while, and notice the blue in this card and the blue in that backdrop, and the blue, it's just a lot of blue, and I like blue. Every so often, there could be a situation that resurfaces. I've seen this happen in the twin flames where you guys could be off for a while and then on again. Sometimes when it comes to your finances, you may notice that there are seasons when it's a little dry, it's a little cold, it's a little need to be resourceful and responsible. And then other times it's quite abundant, fruitful, and fertile. So you guys could be approaching one of your blue moon seasons, okay? The Empress and the Moon together talks about powerful creativity and intuition. It speaks of nurturing your creative ideas, so I want to just touch on that for those of you guys that may have projects. Sometimes taking risks are important. You don't see the Fool card. We don't see we're going to jump head first and make any bad ideas, but these cards could promote some risk taking because it's safe and it's supportive. So anytime safety is highlighted, it may just talk about doing something brave, child, or something that you want to do. It also suggests a time when dreams and imagination are particularly strong and when new ideas and perspectives are emerging, that awakening. The Empress and the Moon also tells us that it's time to trust the inner voice and let go of any fear and anxiety. Now, in terms of your relationship, the Empress and the Moon combination seeks a deep emotional connection marked by understanding and acceptance. It may indicate a relationship that is based on shared creativity or a mutual support for each other's emotional well-being. Now, what I like about this is in this deck, the garment that she's making is actually worn by the character in the Sun card as well as the Magician. Each character has their own storyline, and in this particular deck, there are some that have like blue robes, beige robes, red robes. And if you say, well, why are you telling us? Because there's a connection that the Empress has to the Sun and the Magician, and both of those cards are pretty decent when we're talking about a favorable relationship. Even though the Magician gets a bad rap for being non-committal, the Magician also represents the one. So the person that is near and dear deep down in your heart, the person that's for a long time, or maybe in a different way if this is later in life, it's just this person could stand out from other currents, right? Or other prospects that you've had. As does the Sun card. The Sun card just represents one of the best unions, if not like the epitome of union, right? So I love that. So there's something being created, or she has some sort of hand in what's being created. Whether she is the energy of the Empress card that's telling us about abundance and love and kind of like having it all after it being so cold and bare. Like you got the bare fucking necessities. You got possibly 2 or 3 fish. It's cold. It's just like, gosh. And you made it through. When there's a melt, okay, I feel that the melting represents like from the winter going into spring. And then the spring is also connected to the Empress. So for some of you, that ice is going to be melting. As you see, she has a little water in the grass or whatnot. And then with this Moon card, it just talks about the intuition, the subconscious, your inner world, emotions, dreams, and imagination. It may be a little bit mysterious or feel like an illusion, but it's basically the unknown. So this could be untapped territory in a creative spark, in a relationship, or just in an aspect of your life. Now, if it's the subconscious, remember there's a strong emphasizing on relieving yourself of fears and anxiety. And if not relieving yourself, just be honest enough to try and confront them, to trust your intuition and embrace your spiritual journey. So I think that that's super dope. The awakening could be symbolic to some of the, I guess, more I don't want to say commercialized or popular transits that we have coming up. We recently had the July 7th, the 7/7 portal. I heard that there's supposed to be something going on. I'm just playing. There's a buck full moon on the 21st. And today, I think I heard somebody talking about Jupiter, Gemini transit. I may do a horoscope reading. I haven't done one in a while, so we may do that. So there's a few transits, a few moon phases, or even something that could be favorable to you guys' actual natal chart. So if you do get personal horoscope readings, or follow the horoscope, just take a look at your auspicious or lucky days, or what may be influential in your chart for you to take opportunities. Okay. Don't forget, guys, because I didn't put it in the intro, if you're interested in products and services, or even like a natal chart or horoscope, you can go to astronauthucci.etsy.com and visit the store. And we will move to our second flame, group 2. Group 2, you got one of my favorite numbers. And I say one of my because it used to be like the favorite, but there's different variations of 1, which would be 10, 19, and 28. And so it's hard for me to choose because my birthday is on the 28th, 29th, but don't tell nobody. 19 is the number for the sun card, which my entire life growing up, that was my favorite tarot card. One of my sons is born on the 10th, and his middle name is Diaz, even though we are not predominantly Spanish, and I say that because we have mixed culture. But I named him 10, his middle name, and he was born on the 10th. It's crazy. So group 2, love you down, okay? And of course, the number 1 for the magician. Everybody wants to be Neo. Everybody wants to break out of the maze. So I'm just really excited about this number, and I hope you are too. The first thing intuitively that comes to me is how the candle seems to be in alignment with the light. And then I love the little white thing here in the third eye. So there may be like third eye activations, which is connected to fire and is connected to source. And is sometimes in the chariot, one of the drivers. All right, so we'll see where this is going when I pull out your tarot cards. But just intuitively, we have horses that are in the chariot and in the chariot, and they are sometimes opposing forces. But the beautiful aspect and the goal in the chariot is for those two forces to get to the goal line, regardless of what their differences are. And because source has a hand in it, if they're just following the direction of source, doesn't matter who's next to them. You're both following the direction of source and you get there. So I think that that's super dope. Somebody could be trunking on back into your life. Sometimes, you know, that what's coming toward you was an old time favorite on YouTube when the chariot or horses came up. Horses also represent freedom. And so when I mentioned the number 1 for the magician, you have golden. Okay. So we got waves here. Golden waves puts me in the mind frame of like the Kundalini rising, because they're said to be, even though it's more so, it gets confusing because they have like this milk kind of solution that your body produces that's favorable. And then there's this gold, which is like the philosopher's stone that everybody tried to outwardly create or find. And I think that it's an alchemical thing that happens within you. Either way, I think that's super dope for your card. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, cool. We'll see what the tarot cards have, and I'll try to keep it more general. Now, it reads, I embrace the boundless freedom of my spirit, galloping with joy through life's golden moments. So you guys, it says, wait, first we got freedom that's boundless. Then galloping. Okay, don't nobody gallop unless they're super, super joyful. That means like I'm getting relaxation from playing in the water. It's like this therapeutic kind of like healing thing. And then you have golden, like, oh my God, I'm old school, OG millennial. Okay. Golden Time of Day is one of my favorite songs. And I don't want to mess it up. I think it's like Frankie Beverly, but there are other groups that sound just like them. And I'm old, but I ain't that old, so I mix them up. But Golden Time of Day kind of pointed to noon, and, you know, just admiration for the sun, the rays, a good time in life when everything is just right and the waves are rolling in. So I love that. Your tarot cards that were shuffled for y'all. Okay, if you find, that's how the song goes. You got the Three of Coins and the Lovers, and I'll do you guys just like I did group one. Take a moment, all right, to see what you get intuitively from the photo. And I think I said wands, I mean Three of Pentacles. Now, what I see is two individuals, one horse. Not bad. The Lover's card usually urges individuals to listen to their inner voice, follow their intuition, and make the right decision, while the Three of Pentacles is more so an inspiration, which could represent a crossroad where we make choices that will impact our future. And that's why we're being asked to listen to our inner voice and follow our instincts. Now, harmony, balance, and unity is a message in the Lover's cards. So with the Three of Pentacles representing collaboration, teamwork, craftsmanship, it signifies hard work, dedication, and attention to detail. The card is associated with building something from the ground up, such as a project, a business, or a relationship, and it highlights the need for communication, creativity, and cooperation to achieve success. Now, if we put all of that together, it indicates an important choice that needs to be made in a collective effort, which is something that the horses will have to figure out since they're opposing forces anyway. And I think that's highlighted in what they have on. You have the fire in one branch and then like an olive branch possibly for peace. You have a man in a black suit, a woman in a white dress. These are possibly opposing forces. Where we have a very fertile and fruitful background in the Three of Pentacles, it looked like them trees on their last leg in this Lover's card. But there could be an option, and both of them are facing it, or a question, or a choice to make. What do we do? Okay? And that could be a team at work, co-workers. Doesn't have to always be a lawyer. Doesn't always have to be a lover, but it just signifies that there could be an evaluation, options, understanding. The way that you guys treat each other or your ability to communicate and compromise is going to affect how you go about making the decision and ultimately the decision that's made. So it's a strong impact. It could also represent a decision that affects others. All right. So I love the high vibes and the positive energy, but I'll be honest, with one here just basking in the moment, willy-nilly wanting to be free, just be mindful of any choices or decisions that are made for the individual self that could affect others. That's just being responsible. And I know most of us are adults, so just watch out for that. Okay? Now, there could be rich insight and deep meanings for both of the cards, but the combination together is just a powerful reminder that we need to work together to achieve long-term success, whether in personal relationships or a professional pursuit. It also highlights the importance of listening to our intuition and making the right decision that benefits everyone involved. So it's not just individual. But we started the reading out with this my spirit, through life's golden moments. So there may be different mixes of energy and different phases of life, where sometimes it's about freedom and doing whatever you want to do. And then there could be another choice or decision where there's compromise and considering others. Now, if a person has been on their own, doing their thing, running wild, and now they're approached with an offer, a job, a project, a relationship, they have to make a decision. Like they may even ask that question. Like some of you may even ask that question. Instead of making the decision and considering how, it could affect others, some probably would just sit and say, how does this situation affect my freedom? And then it would be nice to have a partner or life feel understanding to you and your individualism. Understand that I'm coming from a place where it was just me and I was free. and and now you want me, you know, um, doing in this collaborative energy. And I'm sorry, you guys, that I'm laughing because I honestly just thought about wildlife, right? So it could be, I was thinking about my little puppies. They get so mad when they can't just run free. Now they have their own room. I'm not talking about a cage. It ain't a cage in this house. They have their own room. And you should see the little, what do you call it? The doll eyes, man. They just got the baby doll eyes, and the ears go back, and they just look so like, either sad or make your heart want to melt because they are limited to their own space. Imagine a person like that, that's being promoted and has to change their behaviors or considering a relationship. And I ain't trying to go down the rabbit hole, but just intuitively, it made me think about that, and I laughed because by nature, I have the right to do this. However, there may be a new situation, and it's not that the Three of Coins is challenging, but it is in the second position. So if there was a challenge, it would be the Three of Pentacles, and ironically, that could be challenging in the Chariot. All right. So that's very interesting for you guys, group 2. And I wanted to see if there was some extra information in the guidebook because I didn't want to cut you guys short. I feel like I just went over on group 1. And I can help you more with insight. Clear priorities and commitments. I knew it was something because I was like basking and nah. But for some reason, I felt that, once I set my sights on responsibility and then this free horse, it kind of turned the trajectory of the reading. And know that all of you guys are on different journeys and in different places within your lives. So it makes perfect sense that some individual that was on this self journey is now going into opportunities that may include others. Someone may be realizing that their choices affect others and that could change their behaviors. So understand that the key concepts here are just priorities, commitments, moving in the same direction. Okay. They are possibly moving in the same direction. Her hand isn't placed, like they're not like this. Because if I move my hand and you move your hand, the pentacle ain't turning. But his hand is in a way that supports the direction of her hand. So it does look like they're moving in the same direction. Now, for some of you guys, these lovers are also moving in the same direction. And in this deck, the latter sometimes means another dimension, or another reality. Like how they say, manifest the reality that you like, or how you can shift, right? You can shift your reality. I feel like there's still going to be some sort of change, but these two are moving in the right direction or in the same direction. And I think that's favorable for the Chariot. So if there is a reconciliation or a return of some sort, it's in alignment with where you're going and what you're doing. That's exactly how you manifest things as well. Once you're in alignment with the things that you actually want, they catch up with you if they're for you. So I think that that's super dope. And group 2, I do hope that it helps. I will move to group 3. Step on in here. You have the Master 11. Oh, title echoes rhythm. Now, I love you too. You guys have this alignment with the sun, okay? And what I like about this is the dolphins are ahead of the wave. And I've used this card before and gave an example of 3s, but I just noticed there's a 4th one hidden. And the 4 cups could sometimes talk about having more than enough, where you got waves rushing in, and dolphins that usually symbolize some sort of good luck. Now, sometimes these waves could be overwhelming, and overstimulation is not always fun. So moving in harmony with the rhythm of life, finding strengths in its ebbs and flows could be great advice. The 4 of Cups also talks about boredom, So if the waves ain't waving and the dolphins ain't dolphining in your life right now, going with the ebb and flow sometimes helps us coast through those temporary situations. Now, what I got excited about is title and rhythm. I remember when that app came out, and I pretty much would buy anything Jay-Z's selling. And if you're not a Jay-Z fan, and you don't like superstars, just hear me out. Don't block me or leave us. It was just the significance of his influence on how widespread that app was accepted. Even though because I looked into it, I thought it was his app. I thought he was like one of the directors on the board, but he wasn't. He just had some sort of influence, and I think later that relationship didn't really pan out. But I thought it was dope because I know that the name of the company or the app is also significant to ancient information. I'll just say that I do believe that Jay-Z is a part of some communities or collectives that support legacy and tradition. And so for some of you, it's like, that's why this card is a lot. That's why those waves are so big, because there's energy and thought behind what you're doing. It may just look like a bunch of dolphins and a bunch of waves. It may just look like names and words, but ancient symbolism is like what is going through me intuitively. And I think it may be because of this Master 11, which is spirituality. Now, it may not have anything to do with dolphins and waves, but the Master number 11 echoes, which are also like some sort of ancient beings, even if it's just in folklores and movies. But there's some sort of rhythm. It's an ebb and flow to a situation. And we'll look at your tarot cards to see just what that is. You guys have, and see, when I said ancient, the Page of Coins is my divine child card. Don't ask me why, or we'll talk about it later. But if you were here from the beginning of Pisces TV, then you know it, right? The one that inherits, or whatever. The generational curse breaker, the potential, right? What we all have to do to some degree, if we're looking to, what is that, cube the circle? I always say cube in the square, but they say square in the circle. Temperance, just mastering life or mastering self to a degree to have freedom. You know, I don't care if it's financial freedom or just to remove ourselves from the revolving wheel of continuous reincarnation, whatever the case may be. And I absolutely love that, which says that according to these cards and just what I'm getting intuitively before we get into the interpretation, some of you may receive information through meditation or when you're dreaming. So be sure that you guys are paying attention to your dreams, because the Four of Wands is my meditation card. And look, he's finding something. And it's like for the first time, even though it was his destiny, even though we know the Page of Coins, it's like before this moment, I don't know if this person knew that it was true. It's like digging something up and finding it, and he's just sitting there taking a moment looking at it. And that's kind of like how I felt. The first time I had this like supernatural spiritual experience, it was something that I believed in, that I did feel that I was, or that I thought had the potential to be true. It hit different when you experience it and you sit just like he's sitting with this pentacle, like, oh my gosh, it's real. And this overwhelming flush of high vibration is exactly something that you could experience through a meditative state or some sort of advanced yoga, light body activation, working on your chakras, like you've opened the heart chakra for the first time, or maybe have healed certain aspects of those lower regions, because I know that feels great. When the solar plexus is solar plexicing, just make that up. And the sacral chakra isn't, it don't got all them cords and connections. You may even stumble upon some money if you get that root chakra to act right? Because it does oversee or some sort of govern connecting factor to our survival, our finances, our stability, and so on and so forth. Now, the Four of Pentacles, not the Four of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles also talks about our habits. And for some of us, The Four of Swords is like a recovery card. So if we were thinking about image or the body, maybe even recovering from a splash. So I don't know if there was a surgery, or some of us have experienced those supernatural spiritual situations. There may be a time that's necessary for rest. Okay, so just be mindful of that. The Four of Swords could also point to events that there could have been a collective of people, a group of people, or one person was grieving. So the title of Echoes and the rhythm of the ebb and flow is great advice for someone that could be handling grief or recovering from heartbreak and pain. Because, you know, those Three of Swords, something could have hurt. And with the Four of Swords, you know, we lay things to rest, whether those are physical situations in life, like loved ones or partners, you know what I mean, or our favorite celebrity artists, whatever the case may be. And it's just a time where we may need to make it a habit to find things to be happy about as we allow those changes to happen, and find the strength in the ebb and flow, right? So sometimes we have to make it a habit to do that. Now, sometimes the Four of Swords represents prayer, and so that's why I say it's my meditation card, but I don't want to disrespect any of you that could have like religious beliefs. It does talk about prayer or a need for mental rest and meditation. Contemplation, recuperation, passivity, and relaxation. Like, so if you're looking for something and want to find something, it may be necessary to give it a break. Pay attention to the things that you do have, or the last time you got something that you do want, or the last time you were super happy. And that's the break that's needed for your manifestation to catch up with you, because the page can sometimes be kind of weary, but you see that he found it or she found it. So just be mindful of that. The page also represents an earthy, practical, and grounded energy. Now, when you're doing advanced yoga and meditation, as well as having these supernatural, sometimes overstimulating emotions or like electric feelings, staying grounded is a great idea. For those of you that may be in the past or the near future or even the present moment, have new beginnings, opportunities, and ideas concerning your material wealth, possessions, or resources could be in alignment. It's often associated with youth, enthusiasm, and willingness to learn and grow financially. When the Four of Swords and the Page of Pentacles appear together, it can be interpreted based on the context of other cards. So I'm using that tidal wave. Now, if this is about finances, it's encouraging you to take a break and reflect on your finances. It suggests that new financial opportunities may be on the horizon. Now, here's the horizon. Here comes the financial opportunities, okay? For some of us, appreciation is important, because I did start the reading out thinking of the Four of Cups, and the Four of Cups talks about more than enough. Like, you find one, but it's going to be so many, you just want to stay right there and keep looking. For others of us, if that Four of Cups represents rejection and boredom, like, man, I don't want that. This definitely points to a person that gets exactly what they want and then don't even want it. And I don't know if that's the best energy, and could be a bad habit or gives you anxiety and stress, because I know how that feels to like constantly want things, and that hinders manifestations or your natural ebb and flow. So it's okay to want things. That's how we manifest. You got things that you wish to add to your near future. Great. But wanting things and emphasizing on the want and not having it may not be favorable, which brings me to the resting point of stress, quote unquote. This is a message of hope and renewal to anyone struggling financially. It suggests that there's a need to take a break from the stress and anxiety associated with lack or struggles, to focus on your mental health and your well-being. It also indicates that new opportunities and solutions may arise, but you need to be in the right mental state to recognize and take advantage of them. See, like imagine this comes in and you like, that, you know. Yeah, I don't. That's why I say I don't think that's the best. That's the best behavior, but no judgment. Now, it represents a period of rest for the specific upcoming opportunity. The Page of Pentacles can represent a new job, business venture, or investment opportunity. Meanwhile, the Four of Swords will suggest that you need to take a break to prepare mentally and emotionally for this opportunity. The combination together indicates rest to optimize your performance and seize the opportunity when it arises. Now, if you working out a lot, swimming a lot, it's summertime. This could be for you or your children, because I just thought about it. We're knee deep in summer. And this does talk about like the body or like young people. And this will talk about actual like recovery. And if you guys are doing a lot, you're out in the sun, stay hydrated, okay? And make sure that you get the proper rest. Thank you guys for watching. And I think I forgot with group 2, but I'll remind you guys group 3. If you're interested in any products or services, you can go to astronauthoochie.etsy.com to visit the store. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if it resonates or if you like the video, just give your girl a thumbs up. It's like giving an energy boost to the channel, and I super appreciate them.